for cover by the Likee TV no message and then watching the show hit adomane subscribe share drop any latest content be abaje brand when you be etie na ye bowra en seminima another report on sema yet no mobekaya say de dispute na constituencies na see etimi ekoso no do me kwabenya and live on television NDC for them beto dwa say gapo NPP Parliamentary candidate Oquaye Kwabenya finally no wa accepted defeat ama NDC candidate no na me pese ye bowram na yetie emo ensem no ye ba de ka ho no me nso me de emo ensem ni nya bi bebramo
to the replacement of Domelevo. Was it not the same circumstance? People thought that Domelevo has been removed and somebody else.
I'm sure a lot of people don't even know the name of the person.
That person has been able to engender trust.
That's Johnson, right?
Yes. Engender trust in the whole society. Does it work with so? Yes. No. People are now even questioning, is that a sort of Auditor General that Akroma brought? You see, it is when you know that people have illusions about how you'll be appointed. It is for you to engender trust through your actions, pronouncements.
What has it done? Is it because you don't have your way?
Really? Yeah. I'm not the only Ghanaian.
No, I'm just saying, is it because anytime you have a position, you have a position which is contrary to her position?
No, not really. Okay. Because even when Charlotte was there, we had positions which were contrary to her position.
Right.
But I did get to this level. So, you can see that at every point in time, one of the main issues I have had with Jane, it hurts me that she comes from my constituency.
Why should they hurt you?
She disappointed me because the people, the women from my constituency are women who are assertive and women who speak the truth no matter what. You see, when you were at IEA, you insisted on certain things being done to make the electoral system more transparent and accountable to the people, to engender great trust in the people. And then you assume the position. And then the same issues that you were talking about, what you were forcing Charlotte and the rest to do, you come into that position and you are reluctant to do the same thing. Immediately right from there, you become a hypocrite. Let me take this issue. No. Why would you can ask for recount at that police station? Post that. There's no way you can ask. You can only ask for collation at the collation center. J. Mensa is only responsible for the presidential ballot and not constituency and parliamentary elections. I would have wished that she insulates herself from this issue and make the district officers responsible for the so-called instances of collation you're talking about.
And her response.
Yes. So I'm saying that, why are you changing the goalposts at this particular time? The same situation, the same scenario. Even in Techiman, 6 people were killed. You understand? So, even in that instant, you access to go to the court. In situations where a fly has not been stepped on, an ant has not been killed, that one you are not asking them to go to the court, but you are arrogating to yourself that authority to declare that declaration, that collation and that declaration as illegal. On what basis?
So the first time this issue came up, that we discussed, this issue of claims that people were coerced and all that, then a very, very, very senior lawyer sent this to me. So I went back on my phone to check it. It says, coercion and duress are issues of evidence to be established in court. Nobody has the power or right to determine that. It's an issue of fact to be established in court by leading credible evidence. In short, there are factual issues which have to be established by credible and cogent evidence in a court of competent jurisdiction, period. What if NDC also raised those issues for constituencies they also lost? Will the EC hold the same position? So he says that the best forum, the impartial is the court.
It's the court.
And he's saying that if there's evidence of this,
yes,
it will,
Randy,
it
you know,
will constitute.
When I was listening to the constituencies, then I heard them mentioning Dominic Kwabena.
Yes.
I said, Dominic Kwabena, Gabo himself, I've accepted. He was there when the declaration. He met his constituency. But I have the video where he said, look, election is not about life. If we've lost, let's go do our things well, and then we'll come
Really?
back. Yes. Gabo himself addressing his party supporters.
No, I thought that video where he was addressing the party supporters had to do with when he lost the primaries to address.
No,
not this one.
No, the elections.
Because this one with Dominic Kwabena, I heard the EC boss say that there were problems with 3 polling stations. That all had been declared, but for 3, there were problems with 3 polling stations.
And the returning officer declared it. He finished collation. They went there themselves. They sat there. Gabo came there. Eloquent came there. It was collated and declared.
Okay.
You understand? 2, Obuasi East. The MP, my
was
very
there.
good
I've
friend,
seen that
was
video.
there.
I've seen the video.
When the declaration was done.
I've seen the video.
And the MP did not raise any objection to it.
I've seen that video.
You understand? So it raises questions about the propriety of Jemenson's assertion.
And then I've seen a video of Tema Central too.
Tema Central.
The person who claims that he was
Abdul
the person who claimed that he was threatened or
Yes.
whatever. And
Yes.
you see the video of the
Yes,
declaration.
and there was nothing there.
It doesn't
Everything
seem to
was
support
smooth.
what he
So
says.
I'm saying that when you do those things, you make the other side think that there is something really you want to do. To me, look, if those 4 which had already been declared, if there are problems with it should go to court. They should send their evidence to court and prove that truly there were problems with the collation. Certain polling stations are not being collated. The 5 others, it is for you to meet with the parties and say, look, this is, because you know our candidate Nakwetia has raised an issue that they were all asked to bring the boxes and all those things to Chebi for recollation, even though they reluctantly agreed. When they got to Chebi, all that they had without notice to them, all those things have been sent to Accra. You expect our people to carry all their people, the evidence they have, everything from Akwetia to Accra. Why? Jurisdiction. In every situation, jurisdiction is important. Now you moving them away from even Eastern region to Greater Accra. Why? For what purpose? In fact, Jane is making things difficult for all of us.
Your party is raising an issue. They say that there are court proceedings against the EC, that they have properly served the EC. Yet, in all the 2 media engagements that the EC has had, the EC is not even made reference
to the
court issue. Yeah. Meanwhile, this is an EC that when they receive notice of an injunction or they even hear, they issue a statement. And so
you remember what happened during our presidential party?
Yes, and so they believe that the EC is up to something.
Yes.
For the EC not to even acknowledge and tell the public that, look, we have received this injunction. They do not mention it, and it's pretty obvious that they want to go ahead with a recollation, although there are legal proceedings prevent or asking them to stop what they are doing. So they're conveniently pretending that they do not have any notice of any court proceedings, although according to Eduji and some of your lawyers, they have been properly
duly served. You see, my worry is that NDC, for example, we have serious issues about Wejagbawe. Wejagbawe, serious. But when the EC was mentioning those constituencies, they conveniently excluded Wejagbawe.
Maybe you've not made a formal complaint.
We have.
You have?
We have.
Okay.
We have. You see, so this is what I said from the beginning, that her actions and pronouncements and demeanor makes one side of the divide have a feeling that she has something sinister against us. And as a EC boss, as a referee, when you do that, it makes it difficult to be able to bring people together, to be able to have a compromise resolution of issues so that we can have peace. Look, yesterday I saw a tweet from Dr. Prempe.
You mean H. Kesi Prempe?
H. Kesi Prempe. Okay. And he said, from the way the EC is behaving, if the election, the presidential result, had not gone the way he cannot predict what will have happened in this country. And that is true. If the whole elections have not been so obvious and the margins have not been so clear and Bobo and Bawumia have not accepted their humiliating defeat, it would have been very difficult for the EC to give us that tranquility to be able to even proceed as a country. And that is my worry. I think the EC should go back to its own regulation, the CI 127, and accept the fact that they are venturing into a territory that is not within their domain, and allow the parties to resolve these issues. Look, NDC, I don't think the NDC is so much, let me use the word for this purpose, greedy. We have a good majority in Parliament. We are not too much greedy in taking seats that we know we didn't win. All that we want to be sure of is the fact that things have been done right. We deservedly won this constituency. The NPP deservedly won this. And then we all have a peace of mind. It is becoming murky to think that the NDC still want to take seats that they didn't win. That impression is clearly out there. And it is not lost on us for the fact that we need to make Ghanaians understand that the rules of the game indicates this. And so this be done. If we go to court tomorrow and the courts look at all the evidence and the facts and the court say that, look, by this collation, during the presidential elections, didn't we even hire the services of an international audit firm to audit the pink sheets? KPMG to audit the pink sheets. So why can't even the court have that opportunity to also, so that we can have peace of mind, that we can declare that Bobo won, Nilante didn't win? Then we all accept it. But when the EC is arrogated to himself, in this circumstance, an authority and power that doesn't, what they don't have, it makes it difficult for us to accept. That's all that we are saying.
So there's a security angle, and I'll end with you there, but please take note of that as well. Now, we know that there's the Election Security Task Force.
Yes.
We know that with all this recollation thing, the Electoral Commission got the Election Security Task Force to designate the police depot at Tesano as the place for the recollation. So it happened for 2 days.
Yes.
After that, we see that it's not happening there again. Initially, we thought that it had to do with the court injunction. Now, at a presser yesterday, the EC boss, Jean, was also, apart from asking President Kufuor and President-elect John Mahama to intervene.
What is John Mahama going to do? Is John Mahama in power?
Is to intervene to ensure that the commission is provided with necessary security and protection to carry out its function. The EC also urged the National Election Security Task Force to coordinate efforts and establish measures to safeguard its staff resources, which presupposes that the EC believes that it is not getting the kind of security that it requires to go ahead with what it started at the police depot. Now, people have begun reading all manner of things into this. You know that the election task force is headed by the IGP.
Yeah.
I'm sure from yesterday, you've heard the rumor about the rumor which suggests that President Kufuor wants to change IGP Dampari, and people link it to this.
Yes.
And I've seen a post by Franklin Kuju just today, this morning, says that we have reliable intelligence that the current IGP is being harassed and threatened with removal from office by the Akufo-Addo administration before they leave office. It's crime. For standing up for peaceful and transparent elections, for denying the government the opportunity to put in motion election rigging machinery. It had long planned for previous by-elections and the one they lost. Now, though in connivance with a high-handed electoral commission, the government is forcing election security services to provide service for the recollation of some 9 constituencies, elements of the government believe they won. Thankfully, the electoral security services have flatly denied the EC its request to help rig the clear mandate that the NDC has been given. It is shameful that elements of this government are misbehaving and putting our democracy in great danger. They are mistaken, and should they dare remove the IGP and install their puppets to grant the rigging-minded and pliant EC to overturn the will of the people in the 9 constituencies, they will be responsible for what happens to them. I sincerely hope that President-elect John Dramani Mahama and the NDC and all civilized Ghanaians will rise to the occasion and deal with these miscreants. This also brings to the fore Imani's current suit before the Supreme Court for the interpretation that provisions in the Constitution do not grant powers to an incoming president to arbitrarily remove heads of security services. While we wait on the Supreme Court to make a determination, we should fight the latest thuggish approach to remove an IGP who only served his country. Open your eyes, people, and fight for civility and order.
Rather, you see, there is even a history to this. You remember after Asin North, what did it happen? To the extent that we even have we had a parliamentary committee to investigate the whole issue about a tape.
Me da mase so samo je brani bi wo Daily Update TV ne so.